I asked my GF to clean 100% of our apartment. I, 30 wise, live with my long-term girlfriend, 27F, in a major city. My GF and I live together in a major city to share costs. I only mention this to provide some information about how much rent costs. While we were both working, I paid 60% of the rent and she paid 40%, with the agreement that I would pay for all dates because I make 30% more than she does. My GF has felt depressed with her career choice, so I suggested that she quit her job and take some classes to gain certifications in a career she would like more. I agreed to pay rent, utilities, as well as pay for her classes, and give her some spending money, $300 a month. I'm lucky in that I work at a good job, so I can eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner for free at work. I've also worked on additional projects so that I can work more hours in order to support the both of us on my salary alone. For the last 6 months, I've clocked in 60+ hours a week. When we were both working, we split chores 50-50. However, I find myself burning out during the week and unable to clean. And on the weekends, she wants to spend Saturday on dates, with us cleaning on Sunday together. We got into a bit of a row because I said that I'm dying, and I need a day, Sunday, where I can just be alone or do something with my friends. She said she appreciates my help with her career change, but that since we both live in the apartment, we should both clean. I don't think it's fair since she's home much more than I am, and I make almost zero mess because I spend 60+ hours a week at work. She said just living in the house creates a mess, and I should help clean it. Relevant comments. OP has a shit ton of comments, so I tried to only select a few. How much is she studying? Is she alone all the time? She takes 2 classes on MWF for 2 hours each class, for a total of 4 hours a day. She probably studies an additional few hours a day on MWF and a few more hours on T-Teach. These are online classes, so there's no commute involved. She spends minimum 24 hours a week studying. To be honest, I don't understand why people think she is by herself the other days. She is doing distance learning, and has friends in the city she can see whenever schedules align. There's no kids or pets to take care of. More info on scheduling and chores he does. MF I'm not home from 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. plus, due to commute times and work. The only mess would be towels. Edit, I wash my own laundry. I don't use any dishes because I eat at work. Saturdays we have a date, so we eat out. I also don't snack at home because I get home at 10 p.m. and wake up at 7:30 a.m. I play games, but I play phone games. The mess is just general living messes. I only do my own laundry at home. Everything else I would ask her to do. I don't refuse to do the trash, and if I'm going out, I'll take it out. But I can't make the bed because she wakes up at 10 a.m. and I wake up at 7:45 so I can leave at 8:30. What he's paying for. For pay, I pay rent, education expenses, food, mostly hers, cell phone, and give her $300. Get a cleaner. So, at the current rate of spending, a cleaner would be a bit rough. It would eat into her spending money. I'm fortunate that my food and transportation costs are covered by my work, free meals, and a subway card. But without that, I don't think this situation would be feasible. She's a leech. I don't think that. When we were both working, she was phenomenal at her job, and her course studies are going great as well. I wouldn't call her a leech at all, but I am feeling some burnout and I do want her to do the cleaning. How much time are you two spending cleaning on Saturdays? It takes about 4 hours total. Some of the time is dead time, such as waiting for the washer and dryer to finish. We clean the study room, the bedroom, the bathroom, and the living room. The bed sheets and such are washed weekly, and so are my clothes. I actually prefer to wash my own clothes and would do this on Saturday morning, since I like to hang dry my shirts and pants to avoid shrinkage, increase their life. Couldn't she get a part-time job? I'm not sure a part-time job would be worth it in regard to cost-benefit. Part of me thinks it's only another 6 months, and it would be better to have her focus on passing her certification exams the first time around, as these tests aren't cheap either. She'd only work a few hours a week, but the mental toll would be much higher than just the hours worked. Commute, scheduling, maybe a bad boss or coworkers. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. You should have talked about this before she quit. We didn't do the math properly together. Both of us didn't think I'd need to do an additional 80 hours of work a month to pay for everything. I also didn't expect to be this burned out from working and doing the chores, so that wasn't talked about either. Update post, 4 days later. I 30M asked my girlfriend 27F if we could speak before our date night. I told her that I wouldn't expect her to do 100% of the chores, and that I would continue to do my laundry and do my dishes from Sunday. But I can't do the shared laundry or the other shared chores. She said it's still not fair since we both contribute to the mess of the house just by the fact we both live here. I then suggested that we cut down her allowance and use that money to pay for a cleaner once a week on Sunday, so both of us would be free. She didn't complain about the drop in money here, but she said that her cleaning or a cleaner doing it made no real difference because she would want to stay at the house. Because she couldn't trust a stranger to clean unsupervised, because she might steal something. Basically, I went through a few different situations, and in the end, they all resulted in the same answer for her. So I broke up. I have 5 months left in this place, so I'm just going to transfer the lease over, pay the 5 months, and let her keep anything that's not explicitly mine, such as the PS5, my laptop, etc. Anything shared like the bed or TV she can keep. It doesn't matter. I'll be out in a new place in a week. I'll get a work loan to cover this, but it'll be over. Relevant comments. Why are you giving her a bunch of free shit? I could do less, but I'm trying to balance out being fair since she did quit her job. What would you suggest is a fairer setup? To a downvoted accusation of him forcing her to quit her job, I do think she would have quit no matter what given enough time, but we did come to the agreement together. It's not as if I called her boss on her behalf with a happy career in hand and ended everything. She was depressed in this job and wanted out. Comment. I feel like if I had been in the GF situation, just watching my partner leave at 8:30 and not return until 10, I would want to make sure everything was clean and okay, especially if all that overtime was for me. Those hours are punishing. I hate chores, but I would have found a way instead of leaving my partner with no choice but to break up. Just a total lack of empathy or understanding on her part. Am I the asshole for not wanting my future stepson to attend my wedding? I, 30F, am getting married to my fiancé Alan, 33M, in December. My fiancé was married to Amy, 34F, before me, and they had a son together, Jay, 17F. Amy and Alan slept together at a party when they were both 16, and Jay was the product of that. They tried their best to make it work for 5 years, but then got divorced, as Amy had cheated on Alan. Now coming to the issue, I met my husband when I was 25 and he was 28. That's nearly 6 to 7 years after his divorce with Amy, but Jay seemed to think of me as the cause of it. Alan and Amy have decided to not tell Jay about the real reason for their divorce until he's legally an adult. Because of that, he seems to believe that if he pushes his father and mother together, they'll get back together. I have nothing against Jay, but his actions really hurt me, and he's so full of hatred for me. Initially, I tried to be a second mom to him, but he didn't like it, nor did Amy, which I understand. So I stopped trying and treated him as a friend instead. But he talks down to me, calls me a homewrecker. But last week, his friends all messaged me, harassing me and asking to send them my OnlyFans, which I don't have, since I'm a thought, and a lot of other explicit things. This has hit the nail in the coffin for my fiancé. My fiancé is furious at Jay and wants to invite him to our wedding. So do I. But Amy is against that. She thinks I'm being too sensitive and believes that this is normal teen behavior. I don't know if my dislike for Jay is clouding my decision. So please tell me, am I the asshole? Edit 1. Hey guys, we scheduled a talk with Amy and Jay tomorrow to look over this issue. We'll update tomorrow if all goes well. Thanks for all the advice and insight. Edit 2. About 12-14 hours later. Hey, so I'm going to try to make this not too long, but basically, me, Amy, Alan, and Jay had a sit-down talk just about 30 minutes ago. It wasn't going anywhere until Alan burst out about Amy cheating on him. Amy went hysterical and tried to deny any accusations, but eventually agreed. Jay looked so confused, but he surprisingly took it well. No one expected him to, but he did. He seemed so ashamed of himself. Turns out I was right. Jay didn't believe that I was a homewrecker or anything. He was just jealous and mad that I got with Alan when Alan had money and was rich. Meanwhile, his mom had to go through poverty with his dad and seemed to think of me as some gold digger, even though I also work and earn almost as much as my fiancé. Jay also admitted that Amy had said a lot of messed up stuff about me to him when Alan and I first got together. He apologized for that. He said that he wasn't aware of what his friends had sent to me and agreed that while he may have confided in his friends about what his mom said about me, he never asked them to message me. I've never seen Jay look so remorseful. Amy was fuming throughout this ordeal and screaming at Alan and I. Eventually, Alan kicked her out to have a more peaceful convo with Amy. Alan and Jay both exchanged hugs, and for the first time in 3 years, Jay looked happy. Well, that didn't last for long, because after the initial guilt and shock, anger settled in, and he immediately moved out of his mom's flat. Nav moved in with us. He'd mad with Alan too for keeping this secret from him, but not at me. Surprisingly, he actually didn't blame me. So, I think we might actually be able to be in a more friendly familial relationship. Thank you to you all and your messages. I guess all I needed to do was communicate. Thanks. Edit 3. Turns out you all were right. Jay formally apologized to me today and said that he had been feeling guilty for the past year. Apparently, on a camping trip to his GF Maya 16F a few months back, he confided in her about everything that had been going on. Maya was the first one to tell him that Amy sounded toxic, and there was probably more to the story. He said that he'd been asking Amy if there was something that he didn't know about Alan and her, but Amy declined. He also agreed that Amy had been abusive growing up and had him sleep outside her apartment on days when she was on her period and wanted some time alone. He never thought of coming to us because Amy had portrayed me in such a way that Jay thought I would make a big deal out of it and Alan would no longer invite him over. Jay looked like he was going to cry saying all this. He apologized and said that he was ready for any punishment and begged that we don't cut him off. I told him that it was never my plan, Amp, that we're going to work this out together. I also messaged Maya, thanking her for consoling Jay and Amp, supporting him. Jay and Amp, Alan want to go to court, and Amp, change Amy's custody to visitation only. But I think it's useless since Jay will turn 18 in a couple of months. Relevant comments. Jay needs therapy. We discussed that too. He'll be joining therapy soon and will also start family therapy once he turns 18 so he doesn't need his mom's signature. How did the friends get your number? From the parents group chat of Jay's soccer team. I only allow messages from mutuals and friends. You should have told him a long time ago. It isn't that easy telling a little 5-year-old that the reason his world is falling apart is because his mom cheated on his dad. He was already suffering a lot as time passed. No one ever brought it up until Jay was 12. Amp was really emotional as most teens are. He was hostile and impulsive, so they wanted to wait out till he was 18 so that he wouldn't cut Amy out completely and would be more mature. OP also wrote some responses to comments. He treats her like shit for years, and then one conversation in 8 hours fixes it. Hi, I'm the one who posted that. My original post was made a few days after the initial incident at night. We already had a meeting the next day to discuss custody. And I didn't say in my post that he treated me like shit. He just didn't like me. He wasn't rude per se, just very distant and uncaring. He called me a home wrecker during one of the fights he had with his dad. The combo wasn't short, and we've had more than 10 of those in the past week alone. We've talked with the kids' parents and it getting sorted out. Hope this clears it up. We have come to the end of our story. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. Tell us what you think about this story in the comments.